dead. Only going to see one.
Stay close by my side.
So Isaiah, this is your first feature film, and this must feel like a dream come true. A24, the Russo brothers production company behind it, Emily, Willem, Finn, all the talent assembled. Talk to me about getting this thing off the ground, because I know it was an original story that came from your minds.
Yeah, it took a really long time. I, before this, had made a bunch of music videos, and then I had another film I was developing and pitching and couldn't get it made because it was like just too big of a budget. So this was my attempt at making a tiny little makeable movie, and I just failed at that because it then still took me another 3 years of pitching every studio in town, getting really close with some, and then it dying, and ultimately A24 just having the courage to make this version of it that's a bit smaller than even the initial idea. But yeah, just so many people along the way who believed and then just kept pushing and pushing until we ultimately spring of 2021 is when we got the green light off of Emily and Willem saying yes, and then it's been 3 years of just dead sprint since then. So
very much so, and it's funny that you mentioned that it's smaller than your original pitch, because this is a pretty grand film, especially from the cinematography. You're able to shoot in Transylvania, absolutely breathtaking scenes. Emily, your character of Dasha has such an implied relationship with Maxim. A lot of it exists off screen. Could you kind of talk to me about developing that dynamic with Willem? What kind of backstory you want to bring to your performance, those little nuances?
Well, that's one of the things when I first, this first came to me, it was one of those things where you go, ooh, that smells different, interesting, weird, funny. Pungent in a really great way. And that was one of the really great things about it, that it's a kid's movie and it's a beautiful, inspiring, very, very positive story, but it's got these really grown-up, messed up people in it who are, don't behave like, your archetypical, characters in those kind of stories. That I'm playing the mum who offers a kid a cigarette during a sort of life advice session. It just, and their relationship is kind of been messed up by these creatures, and they're just messed up. Well, fucked
as
up.
You wrote me when you saw the film, write proper weirdos. Good, you got it. Thank you.
So that was an immediate, I want to be there. And then I had a costume fitting and I went, oh my God, I love this. Yeah.
The costumes are great. The creatures are amazing. I'd love to talk about developing the Ochi, specifically the sound, because obviously getting a cute, cuddly creature like this, I don't want to say it's easy, but you have a picture in your mind of what it can become. The sound specifically, though, is so crucial to this film. Could you talk to me about that development process?
Yeah, the goal from the beginning was to create a believable animal language that had a musical quality, something, akin to dolphins and birds, but something that felt like it was coming from a primate. So I searched high and low for inspiration, and I landed on this throat whistler I found on YouTube named Paul the Birdman Manilatos. He just had one video, and it was just him in his basement, and he's like, hey guys, look what I can do in my throat. And he just started making the sound that is the sound of the Ochi. I reached out to him, and he started telling me about how his life story was exactly the girl's story in the movie, and that he had, grown up in a similar way without his mom in the picture, and had turned to black metal and throat whistling as his comfort. And it was just really incredible. And then we got him in the booth, and for 2 days, he was just like any other actor, performing all of the emotional articulation that was demanded of the moment, but with this kind of throat whistled chirp. And I then edited it with a little bit of mockingbird and raven, and for the bigger Ochi, sometimes adding a little whale for resonance. And it was really one of the more fun aspects was shaping the sound of that, and then also its musical nature. Then I worked with my wife, composer Mira O'Reilly, to turn it into an actual sort of like a symphonic, hocketed musical form. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I mean, just hearing, if I just watched a little clip of this and heard that picture, well, we put a bit of whale in there and a bit of mockingbird, I go, I'm going to see that movie. It's just insanely interesting.
Yeah, lots of love went into this thing very clearly. I think it's going to bring people together. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Oh, thanks, Liam.
We are cursed with a wickedness. The Ochi